is watching. The Illuminati are planning to take over the world. The space aliens have arrived. Grab your hats. This is tinfoil hat time.
Greetings, and welcome back to Tinfoil Hat Time. I realize I've actually grown by about 10,000 or so subscribers before I've done a Tinfoil Hat Time. So, in case you're new to this, this is where we kind of talk about things that could be a little controversial. Some may even call conspiracies. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but sometimes we got to look at things and go, that's a little interesting. Like this one. Linux and Windows. What does it mean? If you've been following any of the tech news, you know that the next developer build of Windows contains not a fake artificial Linux kernel in Windows subset for Linux WSL, but the full Linux kernel. Now, it is modified. It is based on the 4.19 LTS Linux kernel, so it's not the absolute latest, but what does it mean? We're going to be addressing this today. So hello, everybody. We will start by having a look in our comments. If you're also new to this, there are a few different things. There's a few space aliens, Illuminati signs, fingerprints for biometrics, and other things inside of my picture behind me. So you can play yourself a little game and see if you can hunt those down, although the fingerprint's right behind me. Unfortunately, it's hard to see. But anyway, greetings, everybody. We will jump on into our main topic in a few moments. I will record it to have a brief version out later. But let's go ahead and hang out first on the chat. And I'm guessing this is going to be a lot more comments than I will be able to get through. So my apologies if I don't get to your comments. So Pan is talking about embrace, extend, extinguish, trying to kill it. He has some very good points and comments there. PMark Tech, Microsoft wants a lot of people to dual boot to just use Windows. Snap rarely ever uses Windows at all anymore. Infidel says, ooh, this is interesting. Snap, I might start calling you Snap Package. I don't know. What do you think? Or should I just call you Banana Man? Pseudo snap install banana. All right. Let's see. Max Payne, greetings. Never trust Microsoft. That is right. And your more tornado warnings. No. Get to safety. Get to safety. Let's see. Jesse Crypto, greetings to you as well. Nekobit, how's it going, sir? Yes, you changed your username a lot. But welcome. I'm glad you're here, man. Hopefully you review the Windows terminal. You must admit, yeah. Okay, Loopy's on, greetings, how's it going there? Paul, hello there to you. Sleepy, how's it going there? I hope it's nice and warm over there. It's actually pretty warm where I am too. The Skeptical Owl is on, greetings to you, hello there. Six Syndicate, I can see myself in words. All right. Gnome, how's it going? Or is that Gnome? Are you Gnome or Gnome? You guys notice Manjaro will remove Pac-Man? Really? Huh, that's interesting. Am I late? Are you late? What's the meaning of life anyway? 42. Yeah, of course it is. Of course. Of course. All right. Let's see. Been up. Granted, I grew up around the Baptist Church of Christ, Apostolic Pentecostals that would deem demonic by 70% of people. You know. 70% of the world is demonic according to 70% of those people. So what are you talking about? Embrace, extend, extinguish, embrace, sabotage, and destroy. That's right. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Danger, Linux kernel. Danger. Hello, Anarita. Greetings to you. Charlton Reed. Hello. Is that a literal tinfoil hat? Yes, this is my tinfoil fedora. I hope you enjoy it. Yes, if you are new to Tinfoil Hat Time, welcome. Welcome. Yes, this is one of my most asked for series. It's just, it takes a little bit more time to do, but I'm getting a little bit better at being able to get more quick and efficient at it. So let's go ahead and chat about this a little bit. Let me go ahead and start our recording, and then we will jump on over. Welcome back to Switch to Linux and a Tinfoil Hat Time. Linux in Windows. What does it mean? Well, if you're unaware of this, maybe you've seen some of the news releases saying that Windows 10 will now be shipping with a full Linux kernel. What does that mean? We'll talk about that in a little bit. First, this is, and by the way, those articles are a little bit of a misnomer. It's not in Windows automatically. It's something you can install natively in Windows through the Windows Store. You all know how much I love the Windows Store. It's kind of like saying, hey, what can we do to get everybody's information about everything? I got it. Let's just lock a lot of things into a proprietary store that you can't get access to anything without having a user login for. There's a good way to grab a lot of people's user data. But anyway, what is this? So straight from Microsoft's site, this is dealing with a system called Windows Subsystem for Linux. So basically what this is a way to run and test Linux applications without using any form of virtual machines or emulators. So of course, in the Linux world, we can run several Windows applications on Wine, or there's a few other ones out there as well that you can use to install some Windows applications on. You can't always use a virtual machine, but this is to be able to run apps more natively in the Windows environment. And so they created this Windows subset for Linux, which initially was a completely homebrewed Linux type emulation-y type thing. And you could get in there and install it from the store, of course. And as you installed it from the store, you could get in there and use some Windows applications, some Linux applications on a Windows system natively. Why would one want to do this? Well, there's a lot of types of jobs out there that do require you to manage Linux servers or run Linux applications, and you're running it from a Windows server, so traditionally you've either had to boot up a virtual machine, or maybe you use PuTTY and SSH into a Linux server somewhere else. There's a lot of different things you could do. This is a way to help speed up some of the development time and development process by running some systems on Windows. So is this an embrace, extend, extinguish model, which that is a term tied back to Microsoft, back when in the days when Microsoft was saying Linux is cancer. And then right around this time, they had this model where you would take they would adopt something, grab some project, embrace it, say, oh, this is so awesome, and then extend it. So add a lot to it, add a lot of the functionality, and then destroy it or extinguish it by making sure that only your proprietary format would work. Is that what's going on? Well, we'll get into that in a bit. Now, what does this allow you to do? First, you have to go into the Windows Store, which means not only do you have to have a Windows 10 computer that is harvesting a lot of data, unless, of course, you're on Enterprise and you have that turned off, but then you have to create an account on the Windows Store, and then you need to install your Windows subsystem for Linux. And then you grab your distribution. As of now, you can do Ubuntu, OpenSUSE, Leap42, SUSE Linux Enterprise Server, Debian, or Kali. So you could grab any of those, and I'm sure there's other ones that are probably looking at being added to the system as well. This allows you to test a lot of things, to do a lot of Linuxy things inside of a Windows world. So the question is this their version of embrace, extend, extinguish? Probably, but the reality is it probably isn't going to work. And the reason is we have to look at who are the Linux users out there in the world. So I looked at this and said, I think there's kind of three basic Linux users, and there might be more, for sure. I am absolutely open to more types of Linux users. Let me know where you are. Number one type of Linux user is a developer who generally wants to use Windows, but needs to get in and do something inside of Linux. This is really who this is targeted to. It's so that people don't have to dual boot and don't have to PuTTY into an external machine. They can get in, they can do all their Linuxy stuff in their Windows development environment, and it saves a little bit of time. Now, the second type of Linux users are those without the funds to buy a brand new computer or purchase a Windows license. I think the most popular YouTuber I know of that would fall in this category was Chris Ware. He talks about starting using Linux because he couldn't afford to do anything else. And then he just grew to love it and said, this is awesome. And so, he's stuck with it because Linux is awesome. And so people without the funds looking for a way to not have to buy a new computer or not have to pay for an upgraded license, but instead just continue to use the system that they have, these people sometimes will switch to Linux. And then the third are the people like me. I don't want anything to do with Windows, not because I think Windows sucks and just doesn't work. It's because I don't want my system to be giving all of that information to Microsoft. And there are a lot of people in that boat. I don't want to be sharing my private data with Microsoft. There is absolutely no way to turn all of it off without having a big enterprise license, and that is just too much hassle for me. If I can't get in here, install my system, and have my system only be my system without constantly phoning home like some lost space alien, then in which case, I want to run Linux because I don't want things constantly checking home. I don't want things that are constantly out there sticking out their probes out to the internet, connecting to little thingies here and there. There's a large number of us who use Linux for that reason. Now, the reality is that second and that third group are a lot of Linux users. I'm not sure I would say half, because Linux is so used in the business environment that there's enough people out there to say, let's go ahead and start with having our development environment on Windows, but we need to use Linux in some way to do our work. So we can virtual machine it, we can SSH it, or we can install a subsystem for Linux so that we can do development right here without messing with any of the other things. It's probably faster and more efficient to do the Windows subsystem for Linux, because in a business world, in a business environment where we are attempting to get real work done, it's more convenient. That is where my channel intersects, because I am about teaching people how to do real work on Linux systems, bypassing Windows altogether, not because I think Windows sucks, but because I'm sick of Microsoft's data collection. And so with all of that being in mind, this is, in my opinion, a way for Windows to attempt to embrace extend extinguish. But what's going to happen if they're successful is they'll just kind of cause a little split. They will embrace and extend, but they will never be able to snuff it out. There's just too many little flare-ups of Linux in all over the different places, because there's the fragmentation, because there's the different philosophies. So whether we're talking about having a national desktop, or Chris Titus Tech Today did an awesome video, check it out, about why your Linux distribution does not matter. In fact, I did one very similar like that a few months back as well too. And I think both of us had very overlapping agreement there. It doesn't matter which Linux you use, just use Linux. Just get in there, pick a major distribution that works, that has a lot of support, learn how to use it, and keep using it. Awesome, awesome plan. Awesome plan. All right, there's enough people doing that don't care for that Windows environment system that they're going to try to embrace extend extinguish. They're going to find themselves trying to blow up about 5,000 of those candles that never quite go out. You never have those put on your birthday cake. You're going to blow them out, and then you get one out finally. You go to blow another one out, and this one sparks back up. That's going to be the Linux world. It will not be extinguishable. It will not be. So that really is the matter. This is their way of increasing some efficiency and probably attempting to clear this out. Now, why do I say that Microsoft isn't just, hey, they've changed their mind, they no longer think that Linux is a cancer, they have full-fledged adopted it, they've open sourced it, they have released the calendar application in the open source code. Why do I think that? Because obvious things are still a little obvious to me. I do my writing on LibreOffice. I think LibreOffice is a perfectly fine application. And if you take LibreOffice and you set it up right, meaning that you export the documents in a docx file and you have the system fonts installed that Microsoft is also going to have, you will have very little. I would say 99% of users are going to have very little difficulty sending those documents to somebody in using Word, or Microsoft Office in general. But the thing is that there is this open source, well-known, well-documented document format that is an open document format, ODT file. If Microsoft was really, truly loved open source and embraced open source, then they would allow Microsoft Office to open that document up, which it will open almost every time perfectly, but it gives a big, scary, this could be a virus warning. When they get rid of that big, scary, this will be a virus warning, and make sure that Microsoft Office opens an open source document format, that is going to be the sign that they truly embrace open source. It will open just fine. It just gives a big scary warning first because they want everybody on the proprietary docx format. See, these are those little things we look at. Is this a case of embrace, extend, extinguish? Absolutely. It is a case of embrace, extend, extinguish. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, for other reading about this, there is a great article on its FOSS. I put that in the chat there, and I'll put it in the comments for the pre-recorded video later. And this is, it's bad news. Windows 10 will soon have a real Linux kernel. This is a great article. We're not going to flip through it. I encourage you all to go and have a read through that article. Especially there's a neat rant at the end of it. I'm not going to spoil the rant. Go watch that, or read that rather. But that's kind of my take on this. All right. Is this the end of Linux? Is this like, oh my God, this is the end? No, not at all. Not at all. Because there's going to be that subset of population that's not necessarily 50%, but not peanuts either, that uses Linux because Windows is an option, or uses Linux because they don't want Windows to be an option. Those are the people that are going to be keeping Linux alive and well. What does this mean that they're putting the full Linux kernel in there? It just means that people who prefer to work with Windows but have to use Linux applications are doing fine. Is this the end of the world? No. Do we need to watch this? Maybe we want to watch it a little bit, but at the same token, it's not going to be the end of the Linux world. Linux is going to persevere. This is not the end, but definitely read that. It's FOSS article. It's great. So with that being said, thank you everybody for coming along on this short rant. I'm going to hang out here and chat with you guys for a while. As long as there are comments to read. And the edited versions will be out shortly. You can help support the channel with the links up above me or in the description down below. And follow along on the social media if you would like to get some updates as to when we are releasing new videos. Thanks, and always switch to Linux. All right. So, let's see. A lot of comments. Okay. My apologies again. I usually try and hit all the comments, but we have about 100 people watching right now, so I am probably not going to be able to get to all of the comments. My apologies in advance, but if nothing else, then you can come and say hi to the cute kitty. Hello, people. All right. But we will go ahead and read through as many of the comments as we can, and if we need to, we'll jump on over. It's about Azure. Yeah, I didn't talk about Azure. I don't know if it's necessarily about Azure. Azure is much like AWS. You can get Windows, you can get Linux, you can get whatever, but I don't know. I have to look into that. Let's see. I think Mandela effect exists, and so much I believe I've been intended change. Let's see. I think Microsoft is doing this because their dev support is lacking. Yes. Their dev support is indeed lacking. Huge investment in them, Office 365 to their apps. Microsoft is becoming irrelevant. They have all helped us techs make a living. Yeah. Microsoft love Linux. Do you guys believe that? Well, they love it for lunch. I mean, Will it let you dual boot straight into a Linux console or desktop environment? Not necessarily the desktop environment. In fact, that's what its FOSS article talked a lot about, is they don't care at all for the desktop environments. Although you can run desktop elements with Xorg, I think. I've not used it, so I can't comment exactly, but definitely it's more geared towards running Linux in a terminal. It's Windows for .NET and just casual development and gaming. All right. Sudo rm rf cprompt. Love it. 40 bits. Jaro switched to Pamuk CLI instead of Pacman. Huh. Interesting. My conspiracy theory on MS making Linux kernel in Windows. MS is afraid that developers will switch to Linux if this kernel MS can keep them on Windows. I completely agree with that. I think that that's really what it's about. Absolutely. Join after you eat a couple noodles. Yeah, all right. 51% of your daily amount of salt. That's right. May as well just throw some extra salt right in your mouth, man. Get yourself a salt lick. You know. I'm freaked out by how you can see through the tinfoil hat. You know, no. Move my D in chemistry to a B-. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Hey, man, I failed my first chemistry test in college, and I went on to be a college professor. There is hope for anybody. Come on. Okay, let's see. Microsoft don't love Linux. They just start taking advantage of how they're losing some market share. I agree. Yeah, I don't think they like it at all. Microsoft replaces their core with Linux kernel. Would that mean it's going to the way of Apple? At least Mac OS has BSD at its core, but Linux, ooh, that'd be neat. I don't see them doing that, but it'd be an interesting discussion. Okay, I don't know why people are doing conspiracies. It's development purposes and made Windows 10 pretty nice lately. All right. Let's keep Linux users on Microsoft and a sell Azure server lock-in. I don't know if it's necessarily to sell Azure, but definitely to keep Linux users on Microsoft, possibly. I would completely agree with that. Installing from the store doesn't require an account as well. Did they change that? It used to require an account. Did they change that? Can't say I've been on Windows for a long time. Complain about how cold it is. Sudo apt remove Microsoft. Apt install Doom Eternal. Okay. Got an idea. What if them allowing this, I guess, compatibility layer would allow Microsoft to peer into drives formatted to work with Linux? Ooh, that's a good conspiracy theory. We could do that one too. Yeah, maybe that would allow them to peek into drives with Linux. I didn't think of that angle. That's a good one. PowerShell commands are so long, MS must learn with Linux. Yeah. LA, you complain about chili at 15C. Yeah. No reason to complain about the temperature until you live in New England. Yeah. Hey, I'm close to New England. Can I complain about the temperature? Minimalism. Okay, System D. What's Void compatible with? I don't know. Void is not compatible with my virtual machine. I know that. Although when I had issues with it, the developer said it's probably my version of VirtualBox. That's what they looked at and said, oh, I bet that is. So I should try and run Void on bare metal, just give it a quick test. Kernel Live is terrible on Windows, so it runs better through Windows subsystem. There you go, yeah. Run a DE through Windows subsystem. Loves channel, never stop doing these. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it. Multi-OS and won't choose one when I can have them all. Yeah, there you go. Fourth type of user, people like me who just like to tinker with operating systems. All right. I can dig that. I laugh so much when people say you have privacy on Windows 10. Yeah. I see what's in your drive, Dave. Linux Basic Internet, Media, Windows 10 is slow. Okay, but I need a new SSD. 60 gig max. We'll be using Linux again. Yeah. Even if you debloat Windows, it's still no telling what telemetry is being collected. Yep. Then you have Intels. Yep. Not that I care, but did Microsoft extend Windows 7 support this week? I don't know of any, but I haven't been looking either. 100% disk issues due to telemetry being connected. I believe that is the case. Microsoft is on the board of the Linux Foundation for a reason. Yep. 10 is totally spying. It's just that I don't care because if they see something disturbing, like me without my shirt on, they suffer, not me. Yeah, but what if though they take those pictures and start selling them to ad agencies to sell, you know, pictures of you without your shirt on to shaving commercials or something silly. Third camp, I boot up Windows 10, boot up my Linux VM, do all my stuff with Linux. Yep. Don't trust Windows. Yep. If Linux damages Linux beyond repair, I'll go to BSD. Yep. WPS is great too. All right. Kind of funny, but Microsoft has open sourced a lot of stuff lately. They have like 2,000 GitHub repos. Have they open sourced anything significant? Like the calculator is not really significant. Suck show went to Linux Fest. There was former employees that Brian Lenduke made fun of. Microsoft don't love Linux. They're just taking advantage of how they're losing market share. Yep. Kind of scared Microsoft is making stuff open source. Yeah, they're trying to make FOSS die. Hello, Peabody and Pizza. Okay. Microsoft are trying to steal market share from Linux and trapped in Linux proprietary software, only software. Never open any file off the internet, including docs. Yeah, I get it even when I transfer them between my networks directly. So Windows 10 is a spyware keylogger. Yep, I agree with that. Lost my place. All right, there we are. All right, let's see. Knows more about you than yourself. Never use Windows operating system again. Yeah. Linux have any software that is really something to put on Windows that isn't open source and already packaged in both? Currently being corralled to floor 1 due to tornado warnings. Oh, well, stay safe, guys. Stay safe. Not a huge privacy nerd anymore. Sadly. Yeah, that's very sad. That's very sad indeed. Hello, Tony. Greetings to you. Going to use this because I don't use Windows. Yeah. Linux and Windows in the title. I expect a sellout crowd. Yeah, you know. So if you did jump on a little bit later, I will be releasing the edited version briefly. Does Control-Alt-T work? I don't know. Excuse me. Wow. Whoops. First time I used Ubuntu, I think it was 1604. First time I typed in a terminal was sudo apt-get update. Uh-oh. Here's something about being able to run PowerShell in Linux. Why, oh, why? You know. What is your opinion about System 76's Thelio desktop? I don't know anything about any of their specific computers. The company itself is very reputable and very good systems. They've also done a lot with their Pop OS to support more hardware than a lot of other systems have done. And they've done everything they can to eliminate the Intel management engine. So that is all good reasons to get a System 76 computer. How do I make my thumbnails? GIMP. Choosing chemistry as a major after failing the first, that is a tenacity, which I gotta respect. Hey, I think let's see, when did I actually switch to chem from bio? I think it was that semester. I'm pretty sure it was that semester. Just close the account pop-up. It installs fine. No, does it? Okay. They must have changed that. I know it absolutely required one when I first looked at Windows 10. Okay, is any difference between Ubuntu or Mint except the UI? Yeah, there's a lot of changes in the repos. Like Ubuntu recently wanted to start collecting fingerprint data of your operating system on install. Mint thought that was completely bad and took all that kind of stuff out. So there's actually a lot of changes inside the repos. They will have a more comprehensive list of what is different on their sites. But yeah, it's the UI is caused just by the desktop environment, which Ubuntu is one of the few that doesn't have Cinnamon as an option, although you may be able to install it. I'm guessing you probably can. It's just a matter of which desktop environment you use for the UI. So the overall difference, though, Mint does more to make more hardware work out of the box. But there's a few small code changes in there as well. So I disagree with the statement. They hate Linux. They've come too far with the support for Linux. I've talked to them at Linux Fest, and they seem trustworthy in terms of what they're doing. But you've also talked to the PR guys on the front end. You haven't necessarily talked to the upper level guys with the plan. You know, it's like some cults. The guys on the lower end don't know all of the dirty details that the guys on the upper end do. You know, it's the same principle. Guys on the lower end may not know everything, but I don't know. Find Mint Mate like so Windows 7, which people really loved. I use Mint Mate. I find it similar to use and excellent for me. Yes, that's what I use on my my personal file backup computer. Runs that, and it's very good. Very good system. Scotland, you know it's warm here when the rain gets warm. Very nice. Someone agree with Pizza. Remember that Microsoft has a different CEO. Yep. Some are good, some are bad. Absolutely. Can complain about the temperature. All right. Hey, I used to live in high plains deserts. You want to know cold? I had a cousin out here in Pennsylvania. He's like, man, it hasn't gone above 15 all week. I'm like, dude, it's been negative 20 for 3 weeks straight. Day, night, did not get above negative 20 for 3 weeks. Like, you can shut up with your 15 degrees. I mean, really. Love distros, new stuff fun. Distro hopping is my thing. All right, there you go. She's completely annoyed that I have to go back to my Windows machine from time to time. You have privacy on Windows 10. You got to unplug the Ethernet cord. There you go. Yep. Just never plug it into the internet again. Great show, by the way. Appreciate you tackling the issue. No problem, man. Thank you for watching, Rudy. Appreciate it. Freezing at the moment. Turn on the heater tonight in Scotland. All right. It's supposed to be 85 degrees down here. Oh, boy. Okay, who knows? Maybe we'll see a Microsoft distro of Linux and Windows 10 desktop. Yeah, there you go. Only extended for Enterprise, not Home Edition. Yep. I think the terminal's going to be great to use. Calculator's not really significant. The GNOME calculator, newer one with a bigger file, is better than the MS one anyway. Yeah. Hope they don't start charging us, you know. We'll be beyond Linux. Will cubes be at the standard blockchain cloud-based? What do you mean by beyond Linux? I don't know. Like, I mean, I really need to boot up and start running with the new Cubes version and get the tutorials updated on that. I've been waiting for a capture card, but I decided I'm not going to. I'm just going to point the camera at it, at least for the first video, and do everything I can to get a screen recorder running for the rest of them. It's by software to block keyloggers. Windows 10 makes keyloggers the standard. That's right. Might actually go to Azure once mine do expire because I can get a discount for someone I know from Microsoft. There you go. Yep. We're way to 100 in the chat. Yep. We're at 95 right now. We peaked at 109. We're at 95 right now. Northwest Europe is crazy last couple years. Warm winters, a lot of rain, little snow, too cold. Yeah. Microsoft with Linux means developers shall code Linux apps. Yep. Okay, so Peabody recommends the Thelio machine. Very good. Keylogging is a feature. That's right. Funny is U.S. complains about Chinese spying yet ignores Microsoft. I know, isn't it? It's like, really? Really, guys? Come on. Have a little consistency. But we're allowed to spy. They're not. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Okay, unfortunately most business models revolve around Microsoft machines. I tried to introduce Linux, I was laughed at. Yeah. Sold out for a free pen. Uh-oh. Windows 10 terminal reminds me of Windows 7 when they did the commercial of it. Yeah. Any way to create my own VPN to encrypt my data, send to my own server? Yes, ADHD Gamer. I actually have a video on that. Just go to my channel, type in VPN. It should be one of the top videos there. You do it on a Raspberry Pi. There is a Raspberry Pi install script that you use. So, yeah, it's through OpenVPN. So, yeah, I have an entire tutorial about how to do that. If I get a minute, let me go ahead and try and find it for you. Okay, let's see. VPN. There we are. Copy link address. And that is coming in the chat now. All right. What's your opinion of the best server software and OS for Moss and streamer who is on Twitch, YouTube, and self-hosted website? Moss and a streamer on Twitch. I don't know much about streamers on Twitch. For my self-hosted website, I use A2 hosting. So, in fact, I have an affiliate for them. So I'm using A2 hosting for my hosting. Operating system for my YouTube stuff that I'm doing now, I'm on Linux Mint Cinnamon. And I'm running 18.3. If you're talking about manually doing a server, if I need to do something goofy in with it, I either use Debian or Ubuntu servers. If I'm doing something like a cPanel, just CentOS because that's what the normal is. So that's the best I can do with that. Miss Windows 98 and Winamp. Hey man, I have a Winamp install file if you want it. Just boot up a Windows 98 inside a virtual machine, you know. Or follow Jesse Crypto's tutorial on getting Winamp to work in Linux. There you go. USA, they don't complain about American companies doing telemetry and spying because it's an economical war with China. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They're just attacking the enemy. That's it. Is Cubes usable as a daily driver? It really depends on what you're doing. If your basic task is email, like if you're doing email, so like email, web stuff, documents, just kind of basic stuff, absolutely, Cubes is perfect as a daily driver. If you want to do like super advanced stuff, video games, anything like that, no, you don't want to use Cubes for that. It depends on what you're doing. Basic work production stuff, absolutely. In fact, I started using Cubes because I was working on a contract that we were a website consultancy firm for activist groups. And so, you know, we had a lot of regulations about, you know, staying private and being secure. And the most hilarious thing ever was everyone was running Windows except me. I was running Cubes. I'm like, if you guys want to talk about security and privacy, stop running Windows. But, you know, such it is. Yahweh and Microsoft are as each other, as in the U.S. is doing exactly the same thing as China. Yep. Now, there's new versions of CentOS too, but like if I'm actually getting in there and managing my server personally, I generally use Ubuntu. If I'm doing basic cPanels or not, you know, someone else is managing it, CentOS, so it doesn't matter. Where is gradually losing power economically? Yep. Yeah, we're losing it. We're losing it in America. Absolutely. I mean, we've all lost it. I got 100 people over here watching a guy wearing a tinfoil fedora talk about Microsoft going crazy. I mean, of course we're losing it. I mean, really. Please show chat on OBS. Oh. Thanks, bud. Sorry. Okay, also blame Russians for election meddling, but when Facebook and Twitter ban official MEP accounts, they don't get in trouble. Yeah, that's hilarious. That to me is the biggest hunk of baloney. So what he's talking about, is that, you know, several guys just on one party affiliation are all being banned from nearly every social media platform. Nobody kicks up a fuss. But when there's even the final hint, oh, Russia's meddling in our elections. Let's see the evidence. We don't have any. We've lost it. Installed Pop! OS on the Dell. Works great. Yeah, Pop! OS is pretty cool. Using old PHP versions, so common. Well, I mean, there's new versions of CentOS out. It's just the problem is, Nekobit, is that a lot of your crappy hosting companies never upgrade their server technology. And so you get websites with really crappy old stuff, and that's what ends up happening. Science technology in the U.S. is done by foreigners. Okay, an article about WSL. Pizza, go ahead and drop it in the chat if you did. Oh, did you? Okay, I think you did. All right, cool. Okay, so check out Pizza's article on Windows subset for Linux. West is losing power. It's a very scary thing. Chinese with social credit are not good guys. Corporate America and Europe is really screwed up. Yeah. World War III is very close. Probably. Do a tutorial on Winamp for Linux users? Absolutely you should. You will get so many views for the nostalgic factor. If you don't do it, I might. You guys are awesome. I have one of the new remake skin for one of the diehards. Awesome. Love my Winamp. Kicks the llamas. Never mind. This is a family-friendly channel. Dacious is better. Foobar 2000 is better than Windows. I think I remember Foobar 2000. Leads are stealing everyone's country and destroying democracy worldwide. Yep. Real fun of real communists look to the Democratic Party. Dacious for Fedora. Closet is stuck. Come out of the closet, Pizza. I mean, come on. Okay. Virtual version of Winamp you used. I think the file I have for install was 1.95. I'll check my archives. Currently using Ubuntu Server 1804. Awesome. Very cool. The Pope is here. Greetings, Mr. Pope. Okay. You related to Alan. Yeah. All right. How I see it, if China gets more powerful in USA, then the European nations can work together with China. Whatever country wins, the small countries in Europe can easily adapt. Guy wearing a fedora talked about Ubuntu. A little cross there. You know. Yeah, I should make a security focused fedora and just call it tinfoil fedora. You know, I mean, if there weren't too many distros, I might think about it. Okay, and anyone else who can answer, but the point in the Microsoft doing this, are there really much programs on Linux that are worth that aren't open source and packaged? Well, I mean, I think the ultimate point is for people who use Windows for their work environments, but need to test or build or code Linux applications. I see it as more for development, in other words, than anything else. Doing it. All right. Very cool. Solid Windows 10 just for the article. There you go. Don't trust China any more than the USA. Yeah, give me stuff made in Switzerland. There's a country I think I can trust. At least more than most of the other ones. Everyone is confused due to the repeal of Smith Modernization Act, which made the use of propaganda against American people illegal if it affiliated with the State Department. Huh. They repealed that? Really? Huh. Interesting. I didn't know that. That's exciting. Europe can't adapt. They're too busy stealing from their own people. Yeah. Literally cannot open the closet and all my Linux Fest loot is in there. No. Greetings, Ricky. How's it going there? Jeep Gator, how's it going there? Hey, love your show. Learned so much. Awesome. Thank you, man. Thanks for coming along. Politicians are not interested in anything but stealing the EU. Bless to my child. I apologize. I had to hope it didn't offend anyone. By what? Offend anyone by what? Huh. Did I miss something? Should I be offended? Well, let me know what I should be offended by, and I'll let you know if I'm offended. What's mean if we can see perfect? All right. So what does that mean? See if we can perfect wine from a Windows machine. I'm guessing. I don't know. My tinfoil fedora is getting screwed up. No. Is it screwed up? It looks all right. I mean, it's getting some reflection from the green screen, so part of it's a little translucent, but China, which people haven't noticed enough, China has good relations with African countries with a lot of resources. That's right. Cat keeps climbing on the table and knocking the orange off the table. Oh, yeah? Oh, kitty, kitty. Oh, kitty, kitty. Oh, I summoned a cat, apparently. I summon little kitty. Right. Yes, you can have some kitty treats. Here you go. Here you go. Did you get it? Yeah. Don't slobber on my mouse pad again. And let's do this one right here. Yeah. My kitty's alien skin is starting to show. He's really a predator. See, I can kind of see a little bit through him because he's really one of those predator aliens. He's bending light. Right, kitty. Right. Okay. Who to trust is a question about far from the... Okay, China's buying up land, getting people in debt, and stealing resources. Yep. Hey, just like what we did in America, you know. That shooting in Colorado. I think I heard about 2 or 3 shootings in the last couple of days. Which one was that one? False narratives legal in the United States under NDAA in 2012. All mainstream media is to be considered false until proven real. Japan the most because their culture is honors-based. More about this. And at the time, U.S. had Mickey Mouse, so they added our culture to their culture. The big eyes from anime are because Mickey Mouse had big eyes. Huh, that's interesting. Did not know that. We can blame Mickey for all that anime. All right. All right. African countries will only use child labor. African countries, sweet. A year later, African countries. Dang it. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah, you. Get an email failure with nobody at gmail.com reply. Nope. He's like, yo, human, you shake the package at beer. What's the deal? That's right. If I would migrate, then I would migrate to Norway. No debt, strong economy, civilized people, small population. Seems to be the safest bet. Yeah, you know, there you go. Should I do a video about? I don't know. Dude, you got to do videos that you like, not videos to get a lot of views. Do what you like to do. That's what builds a good channel. You don't do something just to get a lot of views on it. You do something that you like to do and share it with the world. Japan also has the stiffest penalties for crypto fraud. They don't mess around. Yeah, good. All right. Well, we have hit the bottom of the comments. We've hit the bottom of the video. Yeah, we've this is a bigger one. I should talk more about. I don't know. Was it the tinfoil hat that brought more people here, or Linux in Windows? I think it was the Linux in Windows, isn't it? All right. We will release the edited version of this in a bit. So if you missed the main talk portion, we will go ahead and have that released up. I'd probably give it about half hour or so, and that will be up. I can't remember. Did I? Dude, I don't remember. I don't remember if I actually went on and put the video up on the social accounts. So I'll go ahead and do it. Video on creating a good kill switch for VPN having issues. Was the Winamp talk. Oh, the Winamp talk brought everybody here. All right. Thoughts on this? Let me copy link address. Let's see what this link address happens to be. Go to site. Any cloud, any workload, one OS. I don't know. I will have to look into that because no idea. Can't comment on it. Haven't read anything about it. Okay. Linux in Windows is called a VirtualBox. Norway will be absorbed. It has money and is in the EU. You can bet when the money runs out, Norway will be one of the first places they steal from. Come for CJ? Yeah, you know. All right, you come for the tinfoil hats. All right, guys, thanks for coming along. It's been an awesome road, and I will have the edited version up shortly, and we will see you tomorrow. I believe tomorrow is the supporters stream. So come on by, and we will chat tomorrow about some random topic. I'll figure it out by tomorrow. I have a few ideas in mind. So thanks for coming along, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.
Big Brother is watching.